Hello, Kevin Hunt here at Dragon Dart Racing. I'm going to show you how to install a wheel stud today. Since racing season's over, I'm going to do a few little how-to videos. I know there's a gazillion of them on YouTube, and I'm sure somebody will beat me up over how I do this, but I'm going to show you the easy way to put wheel studs in. I've worked in a lot of shops where I've seen guys use impacts and just beat the heck out of the threads and everything. So I'm going to show you how I do it. It's very simple, it works, and it doesn't stress the threads or anything. And speaking of stress, removing them, that's another story. You get them out whatever way you can. These here were so tight, and we had aluminum rims. I ended up drilling every one of them out. Here's one here. I got a little off on there and drilled it till it was just weak enough I was able to get the nut off. So this is what you run into. Please use torque sticks or torque wrenches to tighten your wheels properly to avoid this. Plus these cap style lug nuts are not very nice either. We're going to do away with those too when we're done. Okay, to start with, you want to get a good quality wheel stud. We got these from our local parts store. These are Dorman brand. Dorman's a good quality product. So let's get started. Okay, first, take wheel stud A, insert it into hub B, like so. You can see how we're doing that. Let me zoom in on that a little bit for you. There we go. Whoop. Okay, now we've got our wheel stud in the hole, and we've got the knurling up against the back. The next thing I like to do is take an old castle nut. If anybody working in the shop, just a castle nut from like an old ball joint or something. I always have something like this laying around, and I put it over the stud like this. You want one that's too big, that's way big, see? So it's got plenty of room. What I like about a castle nut, they're real hard, and also with the slots in it, you can kind of watch the progress of how it's pulling the wheel stud through. Next, I get a couple of washers, just a couple old flat washers, put them up here. Take a little bit of anti-seize. There you go. There, Permatex anti-seize, nothing fancy. Put just a little bit on the threads there. Take one of the new lug nuts. I usually get an extra lug nut just in case we have a problem. So far, so good. You start the lug nut like so. Okay, now here's where so many mechanics I feel make the mistake. They like to put their hand back here and get an impact gun and you know, just shoot the heck out of it with an impact gun. Take a breaker bar. It's very simple. I have this real nice breaker bar. It is a ratcheting style breaker bar. As you can see, there's the little ratcheting thing, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to start tightening the lug nut on the wheel stud like so. Okay, it's starting to get hard to turn because it's pulling the wheel stud through. So I just take this bar here, take an old pry bar, stick it down here. You can see where I've got it, and we just start tightening. Just continue to tighten. You're not stressing the threads. It's pulling the stud right in. Let me get a different angle on it so you can see what we're doing. All right, you can see the back side of the wheel stud, and as I'm tightening the nut, see how that's nice and slowly just pulling that thing in? Just like that. And since I'm using a breaker bar, I'm not beating the threads up like an impact would do. Okay, as you can see, that's in. That's all the way in. So I just loosen the nut on here. See that? Now I'm going to move the camera just a little bit so you can see I'm not shutting it off. And now that I did that, look, I just broke it loose by hand. And look, see how I'm taking that nut off? Didn't stress the threads or anything. My washers are good. Now you may, if you do a bunch of them, you may want to replace these washers about every 2 or 3 because it does put a lot of stress on them. But the old Castle nut makes a nice base for that. And it works just fine. And we're all set. Only got one more to do and we'll have this side done. But I hope this helped you in a wheel stud installation. You can do pretty much any of them this way.